So I will probably start. So this is going to be the last time I do top 20. I wasn't going to do another one, but the last like month was kind of crazy, and so enough has changed for me to want to actually like redo the rankings. So this will be the last time I do this. This will probably be close to my ballot when I do that, which will be on stream later when they get released. But this is going to be, this will probably be what my top 20 looks like. So number one, no surprise at all. Hungrybox, best player in the world for 2019, no doubt about it. Not much of an argument. Number two, nice try ship. So Mango slash Leffen are the two people who you could put at the number 2 spot. What's up, Alex? I have not looked at this as much. I do plan on looking at this now. Please, if you have a ballot, don't fall for recency. Look at the results. Make sure you're actually making an educated decision. So Mango has, so what Mango's going for him, a lot more tournaments, 3 great tournament wins, Big House, Gommel, and Mango's birthday bash. Leffen, very, very consistent, albeit with a lot less tournaments. Very few bad losses. Looks like a better head-to-head spread too. So they're even in the head-to-head. Leffen is losing records to Axe and Wizzy in the top. Mango has losing records to HBox and AMSA. Leffen is up on HBox. I would definitely give advantage to Leffen in the top 10. Both of them are even on me, and then haven't dropped sets really to anyone else. I would say their advantage is Leffen. Big pigeon, thanks for the Twitch Prime, man. So there, I would say advantage Leffen. In the mid-range, weirdly enough, no, okay. Leffen only has losses to Moki. Mango does have losses to Lucky, loss to Army, a loss to None. I forgot about the None loss. A loss to Spark, a loss to Magi. And that's a little rough. The sub alert's loud. Yeah, I could change that. So I'll be honest, that is a little rough. Sorry, I'm just going to change the volume on that. So again, people saying for sure, oh, Mango's 100% second. If you're going to look at that and tell me you don't see a universe where Mango gets ranked lower because of kind of a litany of bad losses, I think you're either a blind fanboy, you have really bad recency, or you're not using your head. That's a bad collection of losses. Magi's in the 40s, Spark will be around 20, None will be top 15. Army is not even top 20 at this point. Lucky will be top 15. So that's 3 losses worse than top 20. 2 losses in the 10 to 20 range. And all worse head-to-head than Leffen in the top. Now, this obviously comes with the added condition of Mango attended a lot more and put himself at risk of a lot more bad losses. Now, I would find this argument compelling against Wizzy. I don't find it as compelling against Leffen just because he's from Sweden. I don't think you can really penalize someone who lives in a different country for not attending as much as Americans. I will also say it's very important to remember this is not a power ranking, it's a year-long ranking. And there was a period in the summer where Mango was getting 9th at every tournament. Leffen never had that. Mango's about to call you a nerd. Mango can call me a nerd all he wants. So recency should not actually play a factor. If you're going to go off of recency, you shouldn't have a ballot, in my opinion. It's a yearly ranking, not a power ranking. How can you count Genesis any less than you can count Big House? If you can't, then you shouldn't be counting February performances less than you should count performances from yesterday. Right? Right. No one in their right mind would say, oh, Genesis doesn't matter, it's the beginning of the year. So why should losses at the middle of the year, earlier of the year, not have as much effect as a loss at the end of the year? It's a year-long ranking. It's not a power ranking. And so, I'll ask chat. You look at this. So Leffen's down on Wizzy and X. Mango's down on HBox and AMSA. So let's say those are about the same, even at the head-to-head. Has a bit more say. I don't agree. I just don't agree. I could see why you'd say that shit, but I don't agree at all. So there's that. Leffen's only loss outside of the top 10 is Smokey, and Mango has None, Lucky, Army, Magi, Spark. Right? The prompt for the ballot? No, it doesn't, actually. The prompt for the ballot is if you had to... So based on the quality and quantity of this year's results, that's it. If everyone were to enter a tournament every day of the year, who would do the best on average? Everyone in the world's at a tournament every day or every weekend of the year, whatever it is. And so that inherently means as good as you did at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, they both matter. Right? If you enter a tournament every day of the year, who does the best on average? The entire average of every tournament of the year. Not a weighted average, not a recency average, right? Average every tournament of the year. So where's the recency in that prompt? I don't see it. Also count how close the sets are, though. That's up to interpretation, and I can definitely understand that. How's that a slippery slope? All I'm doing is taking the direct words of the prompt. Average result if you enter a tournament every day of the year. Where's the only thing like... Oh, how close they were. Oh, how close they were. Sure. Yeah. Now, I will say Leffen did drop out of 2 or 3 events. And even if the schedules were conflicted, I do think that there is some... Just because you... So, in my mind, and I know this isn't fair, but I think this is why I'm going to put Mango at 2. In my mind, if you drop out an event because you're competing at another event by the prompt, that means that on those weekends you wouldn't perform as well. Maybe not because of your skill as a player, but because you're in another event. And so if you're dropped out of 3 events because you were competing in other events and you didn't think you were going to play well, I think because of the rankings, I have to penalize that. Not by much, but if something's this close, I will penalize someone for it. And so for me, I know I just went on a big tangent about why you shouldn't automatically rank Mango number 2, but I just want to give people reasons for both sides.
So now you have your camera, and obviously it's very blurry. You need to select the target where your camera looks at. So if you press T, you select the target, and then it goes basically the focus on the...
So the asterisk is because more results would probably make him number 1. I think if you expanded Leffen's result at present over the course of a full competitive year like Mango or HBox, I think he'd be number 1. Having said that, I think because he made the decision to compete in another game, I have to penalize him on the Melee ranking because that tells me he wouldn't perform as well at those events. Fair, maybe, maybe not, but that's how I look at it. It's not Ultimate to me is an opportunity cost. You put time into Ultimate, you compete in Ultimate, that's going to take away from your ability in Melee, and it's going to lower your ranking. Mango could have dropped out of Genesis because he played Ultimate. He didn't. Mango could have... So will you hit Plup with that too? I don't think Plup can go any lower than where I'll put him, but we'll see. So for me, Leffen is at number 3 because of that. If someone put Leffen at number 2, I would not blame them one bit, and I could totally see why they would. So 4, 5, 6. This is messy because there's Zane, there's Axe, and there's Wizrobe. How do you value this? So Wizrobe, pretty good in the top 10, only losing records. I don't think SJ is going to be top 10, but I'll get to that. But I'll count him. Down on Axe, SJ, even on Plup. So pretty good head-to-head. Down on Fiction, down on Gotsu, down on Lucky. And has lost to None. Not as good. Way less attended, also not as good. I also penalize Wizzy a lot more for activity because he lives in the United States and still didn't enter, which to me is kind of inexcusable if you're trying to be a top player. That's just me. So for me, Wizzy will probably be at the bottom of this. Axe, much better head-to-head, only down on Hungrybox and Mango. Up on everyone else in the top 10, which is really impressive. It does have a loss to SFAT, but he's up. Down on Swedish, even with Faithful, down on Bananas, down on Army, and down on Chew. His obvious issue comes in with Ice Climbers. For me, it's a really tough decision between that and between Zane, who is down on everyone in the top, but is taking sets off of all of them besides Axe, and I don't count Wizzy because it's one set. But then is up on basically everyone else, and gets top 5, top 3 like every single time. So that's a really, really tricky spot to put me in. I will say, the fact that Zane is down on everyone in this tier does make me believe that he should be below Axe, who shows the ability to win the tournaments, to beat those top players, like, pretty consistently. And to me, Axe only really has an Ices problem, which, yeah, you're going to run into Ices, but his bad losses were concentrated in one character, so as long as he avoids Ices, he's fine. It's a tricky situation, but I would definitely put Zane, for my 2 cents, below Axe. And then I put Wizzy at the bottom. Wizzy has a lot of bad losses in a short period of time and didn't attend a lot. So even if his head-to-head is good, I don't like the rest of his profile. Because lost to Fiction, lost to Gatsu, lost to Lucky, lost to None. So a different array of matchups that he lost. He lost 2 to Fox. What did I just say? 2 to Fox, 2 to Falcon. You're going to run at the Fox. Obviously the Falcons are good. Wasn't able to beat Axe. Was down on Johnny also. Even with Plup. More like Fiction bopped him. Shut up. It was game 5. So, for me, not good enough and too many bad losses for me to put him any higher than that. Zane and Axe, I can see going either way. I just like that Axe also has a Sheik problem. I don't know if I would consider 2 stray losses to Sheik a Sheik problem when Axe is also 2-0 on Plup. Do you think 2-0 on Plup, even with face roll and down in Swedish, is a Sheik problem? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you count matchups? I do. I do count matchups to a certain degree. Well, I don't give them slack for it. Like, if you're losing matchups, that's indicative of how you're going to perform in tournament. A bad matchup for you is indicative of how you'll perform in bracket. And so I don't cut slack for that. No. If I'm doing a list, how about this? How about this? If I get to, so I'm at 191 subs. If I get to 200 subs by the end of this list, I will do a list of my top 20 players by skill level. I will exclude myself. A top 20 players by skill level, where I will kind of exclude matchups and everything, and I'll just give you how good I think they are in Melee. I think that's fair. If I get to 200 subs before the end of this list. You can give that info for free. I could, but why would I when I need to eat next month and pay rent? So people can never discredit Ice Wins Peach fans regardless of rankings? No, absolutely not. And to put yourself in that, since that's honest, I don't think I'm the best right now. I think I can be in the future. I don't think I am right now. I would be lying if I said I will. I am. Okay, so moving on. That's this tier. So 7 through 9, I think is also kind of a so because of Plup's like recent struggles, I think this would be like AMSA. So this would be AMSA, Plup, and myself. I would probably do it in this order, but I haven't looked at it in a while, so I will recheck it. AMSA highlights even with HBox, up on Mango, up on Johnny, up on SFAT. It's down on me, down on Triff. I think he's even with Spark, if I remember correctly. Even with Spark. 0-2 on Lod, and then he is dropped sets at smaller tournaments to Shippu and Sane. So overall, that's a pretty good resume. I will say I don't like that he doesn't have wins on anyone else, but that's okay. Plup only really has a winning record on AMSA and Zane and S2J. Even with Wizzy, hasn't beaten HBox in 6 attempts, hasn't beaten Axe, hasn't beaten Leffen, hasn't beaten Mango. That's a little bit of a problem for me. Would that list include inactive players? I don't think any of them would be relevant. I don't think any of them would be relevant right now. So he's down on SFAT, down on... The issue is this tier. Like, he's down on SFAT, Swedish, Moki, and Fiction. that's kind of troublesome. He doesn't have any other losses, but again, like Leffen, or like the other players who were playing Ultimate, he hasn't really attended as much, and it's hard to say how good he would have performed at those events. Like, he DQ'd out of a few events that he could have had bad losses at, and I'm still debating whether or not I would penalize him for that. For me, I'm down on HBox, but I took a set. Even with Leffen and Mango, up on AMSA, down on S2J. Even with SFAT, I still hate Zach for those sets. Down on Triff. Up on Swedish and Moki, even with Shep. Shep. I know how mad that makes you. Even though the second set with Shep was bullshit, or the second win I had on him was bullshit. Good, leave, bitch. I don't want to hear you anymore. Up on Pew Pew, up on Paceroll. I'm down on Ginger, even with KJH. I forgot about that loss, actually. Down on None. Hell well. The thing is, I do have way more sets against these people than most people. My issue is I lost to Yort, and I'm even with Hugs. Lost to Muta King, lost to Absent Page. I think I do have too many losses, in my opinion, to justify putting myself over either of them. You'll attack me through the screen? I hope so. I need some action in my life. I will say, so AMSA has some losses. I don't think he has that many fewer losses. Actually, I'm still probably going to put myself at 9th, but these were a lot closer than I thought. These are a lot closer than I thought. So my initial instinct, before I had AMSA at the top of this because of how well he did in this tier, but like he's only really up on Mango and even with HBox. He's only beaten 2 of these players. Really acts above Zane. It can go either way. It just depends on what you value. When it comes to these level of players, though, if you haven't won a super major or a major, that's kind of like that's kind of troublesome for me. Zane basically didn't win a single tournament where he was not the favorite, and for me, that's like that's an issue. That's an issue for me. This is closer than I gave myself credit for. I still don't think I can justify, like... Okay, so why would Plup be over me? Plup is way more consistent. Why would Plup be over me? He has less bad losses, right? That's why Plup would be over me? Because they technically have the better peaks, which is weird to say. Dude, I have 3 wins better than any win that Plup has. It just doesn't feel right to put me over Plup, but then he's so bad at this tier too. Dude, Ultimate really fucked him. Like, this is an example for me where, by the numbers, I could see why someone would put me above him, but just, like, intuitively, because I know how good Plup is right now, I don't see any way... Like, in my head, it doesn't make sense why I'd be better than Plup, even though I have to think... Dude, I don't know. That's harder. I think Plup losing to Swedish and having another, like, lackluster tournament kind of screwed him. Before I discounted a Swedish loss because it was Samus, but then Plup hasn't had any runs. Yeah. He also didn't lose to Yort. No, that's my thing. He didn't lose to Yort. He didn't lose to Hugs. Would it be relevant how recent your bad losses are? No. It would not be relevant. It's a year-long ranking. It's not a power ranking. Well, Kongbone, yeah, that's why I'm feeling like... How many events did AMSA go to? He went to a few. When did you beat Zane? I beat Zane's Fox at a cave. I didn't actually beat Zane. That's why I haven't talked about it. Okay, so I think AMSA's 7th for sure. Even with HBox up on Mango, that's a really, really good peak. I'm not up on any of those people. Plup's not up on any of those people, and he has less bad losses than I do. So I don't think there's any argument for Amso lower than 7th, at least in my eyes. This is agonizing because I know if I post, so I'm probably gonna put myself above him for this list, but I know if I post this to Twitter, I'm gonna have a bunch of Ultimate kids and like low level people being like, wow, 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 he put himself high again. Wow, wow, he's just so full of himself. I'm just like, all right, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be real fun to deal with. I don't. So full of himself. But you are full of yourself. Shut up, Krakoza. I don't see an argument for Plup over, like. Okay. So I think I actually would do this. But under the. I don't. That doesn't feel right. Other than SJ track record solid, yeah. I guess I had a better year than Plup, and that's weird to say. So for 10, 11, 12, and 13, I kind of have this tier in my head of Fiction, S2J, SFAT, Moki. I know a lot of people say Swedish, although Swedish being 2 on Plup now is actually really good. So I think I would throw... No, actually, I'll get into why I wouldn't throw Swedish in this tier in a bit. I would not throw Swedish in this tier. Okay. Where would you put none? If the first half of the year didn't count? I mean, if... I don't know, like... 12, 11? Moki above none? Yeah. Maybe not anymore. Let me look at Nun's here again. So, he has the Wizzy win, the Mango win. Nun's in this tier. I forgot about the Mango win. I forgot Mango's like number 2 on my list, so I have to count him as that. Did MTK attend the same as Wizrobe? Yeah, but Muta Kings was in the span of a month and a half. Like, how do you value someone who only has like a month and a half worth of tournaments plus Genesis? I don't know how to value that. MTK is a hidden boss. I should get points for beating him. You do get points for beating him. Oh yeah. Okay. So here is how I describe them, and I think I have a pretty good idea of who I put in number 10. So Fiction has a Wizrobe, a Plup, and a Mewtwo King win. He's generally pretty good in this tier. I don't know, how are you 1-5 with Zach? Realistically, he's up on me. I beat him at a tournament where we literally played outside, which I don't actually count. Down on Triff, down on Moki, even with Face Roll. Down on Duck and Bananas too. Where were these lost? Oh, Genesis. And then the Bananas, that's right. Then you even with Lucky. And you're down on Chew. You have a lot. You're 2-2 in my kills were at locals. I don't really care about that. Oh, Bimbo was at Hugo's thing. I don't care about that record at all. Dropped the set to Tuesday, but you won the tournament, so I don't really care too much about that. And then I know that that's not actually accurate. I know you didn't lose Tabs and Page. Is 100 grand top 20 yet? He's getting there. So, the thing about Fiction is he has no losses outside of this list at all. Like, period. There's no losses outside of this list. Moki has a Plup win and a Leffen win. So, Plup and Leffen compared to Wizzy, Plup, Mewtwo King, and even with me, I would say that Fiction's is probably, or up on me. I would say, and he's up on Johnny. So I'd say Fiction's definitely the better peaks. better mid area too. Moki's down on Rishi, down on Chu as well, down on Ginger, down on Duck. I think he's down on None now, and he's down on Spark. 0-2 with Absent Page. And then he actually has losses outside of this. I think he lost twice to Morse Code, if I remember correctly. I don't think he has any other losses, but he lost twice to Morse Code. Up on Zach is nice. So, right now, I would put Fiction and then Moki. Now, S2J. So, S2J has a Wizzy win. He's down on Axe and down on Zane and down on Amsa. So he's probably the best in this tier of his people, but he has probably the worst peak. Axe win's great, but it's 1 and 3. Zane win's nice, but it's 1 and 2, and then he's 1 and 2 with Amsa. Overall, I would say that yes, the spreadsheet's at Gimme Dat Wheat's Twitter. So I would say probably better than probably the weakest actually. But the best in the middle of the tier, I would say, doesn't have as many losing records to like lower level people. Oh, that's not true actually. He's pretty comparable, even with Santi down on None, down on Wes, down on Ginger, down on Pew Pew, down on Swedish, down on Fiction, and I know he is down on Professor Pro, even with Santi, down on Spark, and then he also has losses to Nut. He also has lost to Billy Bo Peep. He also has... He has another loss that I can't remember. Not Billy Bo Peep, and who was his other loss that I can't think of? Shep, do you remember? You glad you... Wait, you retired from it, Algebra? What the fuck? Well, I am 9 subs away from doing my True Skill list after this. I said Nut, Billy... Oh, Nut, Billy Bo Peep, and Professor Pro, right. And didn't he have another loss? And over. That's the other loss. Who is Moki up on again? SFAT. So is S2J. Down on Triff. S2J didn't play him. Up on Swedish. S2J is down. Up on Fiction. S2J is down. She's down on Pew Pew. They're both down on Ginger. The Moki's down on Duck. S2J is up 4-0. Oh well. Would I put Moki over S2J? I think I would put Moki over... No. This is closer than I thought. Why no, Buddhas? LTC some bullshit. Yeah, I'm not counting Billy Bo Peep that heavily, Shep. But even still, like, over Nut, Professor Pro, and then the rest of his resume just doesn't look as impressive. Like, the left hand win is way better than anything S2J has. Would I put Moki over Johnny? Okay, so Leffen, Plup, down on S2J. S2J is up on Wizzy, and that's it. He's up on me too. Up on Wizzy, up on me. He has wins here, but he has so many attempts. Like, he's down on them. He's not beating them. He's just down on all of them. And that's, like, weird. In this tier, S2J is down on Swedish, down on Fiction, down on Pew Pew. Moki's down on Triff, me, and... Well, I'm not in this tier. Down on Triff, S2J, so he's definitely better in this tier. Both down on Ginger. He's down on Duck. I'm starting to think Moki had a better year than S2J. He's down huge on None. Even with Santi. Santi's not a good loss this year. Down on Rishi's bad. Lost to Luna, but he won that tournament. I generally don't count that. They're both down to Spark. I want to win Absent Page hurts, but... Dude, Shep, what do you think? I feel like Moki had a slightly better year. He's only losses off this sheet are Morse code. Literally, his only losses off the sheet is Morse code. Johnny has like a few losses off this sheet. I think Moki less active. He is less active, but that's the only reason I'm even considering it. If Moki was more active, I would 100% rank him over SUJ. Can you survive? Thanks for the tier 1 sub, buddy. I appreciate it. So didn't do great at the big house. Moki should be at the big house. Didn't do great at main stage. Did really good tournament shine. Okay tournament at SmashCon. Okay low tier city. He lost Billy Bo Beep though, which is not great. Bad summit. Not great smash and splash. Okay, Gamal. I'm kind of looking at placings just to get a general feel of how he's done this year. And now let me look at Moki. He went Falco here, I don't care. He did badly at this House of Pain, 7th at EGLX, 9th at Big House, 3rd at DreamHack, 5th at 13th here, 2nd here. This was definitely his hallmark, but he lost to Johnny there. Okay. I think Zayn is much, and then Johnny's way more active too. Yeah, I think because of the activity, I'm going to put SJ probably over Moki, but it's extremely close. It's extremely close. It sucks because I know Moki can't really travel that much, but I give Canada less slack than I do Europe. It sucks, and I know it sucks, but that's that. Okay, so next up is Zach. I'll be real, I think Zach's clearly at the bottom of this. He's only up on Plup and even on me, down on literally everybody else. The 2 wins on Zayn aren't real. He does have an Axe win. Pretty good in this tier, only down on Moki. That's actually really good. Up huge on Fiction. 0-2 Lucky, 0-1 Army, 1-1 with Hacks, 1-1 with Trudeau, 1-1 with Spud, 1-1 with Bimbo. That's a legit Bimbo loss. And then he has a Kevin Maples loss. Why is that red? That's supposed to be green. Okay. Not as bad of a year as I initially thought. But he didn't have like... He just didn't go on any runs. He didn't go on any runs. He didn't have any crazy tournaments. He didn't have any really good wins. He didn't have a peak. Oh my god. Sharon? Charon? How do you pronounce that? Thank you so much for the tier 3 sub, dude. Thank you so much. Also, message me. You have some benefits. Thank you so much, dude. That's seriously appreciated. You get some benefits, so definitely message me about that. Also, anyone who subs gets a Minecraft server, and all tier 2 subs get my Patreon VODs. Just saying, all my Patreon lesson VODs. Karan, okay. Thank you so much, man. I don't really like using runs as a metric, but when you look at it in conjunction with like his wins, SHAT hasn't done anything like to distinguish himself this year. Hasn't had any hallmark wins, hasn't had any crazy performances, and I think when the rest of these people have all had like super crazy runs and stuff, you kind of need that. And so I would say I would probably put Moki above SFAT. But he is actually a lot more consistent than I thought. Only real bad losses to Kevin Maples and Bimbo. And Spud's not really that bad of a loss. He's just weird because he lives in fucking Australia. It's amazing how every time Spud gets to travel, he gets to run into Foxes. I love Spud though, so it's okay. And then the last in this list is None, who I generally don't know where I'm going to put. So, his peaks. He's 1-2 on Wizzy, even with Mango, up on SJ, up on me. LOL, up on me. Yeah, we know about that. SFAT's been top 10 for like 4 years, dude. So that's a really good like collection of wins. I would say that would put him above... I'd put him above S2J. I would definitely put that collection of wins above S2J. And then he's up on S2J big, and he's up on me. Yeah, I would definitely put that up there. Not as good as Shep's peaks. No, I think it's better. I think it's probably better. They're close. They're very comparable. I'd say Num probably has the best peaks of this. Mango's being number 2 now, so I'd say Num probably has the best peaks of this tier. What does Nun's record versus me show? We'll find out. It shows that he's down 2-4. So he's down on Moki, down on Fiction, eating Pew Pew and Face Roll. Up 3 on Ginger. Wow, that's Falcon. That's impressive. He went to should be 0-4. Take that up with the battle when it comes out. But I'll keep it in mind. Down on KGH, down on Lucky, down on Army. This is his issue. Like, he has these collection of like losses in this tier that you can't afford to have. He has a loss to Wes, loss to Shroomed. Not many bad losses outside of that. Loss to Dreffin is bad. Dreffin loss is bad. 0-1 to a Mewtwo King. 1-1 with Ryan Ford. Really? Where did he lose to Ryan Ford? Some shit local. Even still, it's tough. He has definitely the worst record, I would say, in the lower tiers. Like, what is Moki at? I think right now I'm comparing him to Moki and S2J. So let's actually compare the Falcons. Let's compare him and S2J. So he definitely has the better peak, in my opinion. Being even with Mango is huge. S2J has more wins, but he also has had more chances. Wow, they both just get farmed by HBox. What the fuck? That's actually depressing. And then he's up in the head-to-head big. S2J better in this tier, yeah. Yeah, only being up on one person, ironically, is actually better. He is down on Ginger. Well, he's up on Ginger. That's good. The 4-0 on Duck was actually good because that's when Duck played Samus. 4-0 on KGH, none. Okay. Does none have any losses that I don't know about? Does none have any bad losses that I don't know about? Because I think for Johnny, I like the fact that he's beaten a bunch of players here, taking his head off Wizzy, taking his head off Axe, taking his head off Zane, taking his head off Famsa. Even if he's not up on them, I like that. And Johnny's still up on me, as opposed to None, who took a set from Wizzy, but is down, and is even with Mango. I think I like Johnny's body of work a little more, then also lost to Forest. So I definitely put None below S2J. S2J is still the second best Falcon. For Moki, it's a lot more similar. And kind of tricky. So peaks, Moki has a Plup and a Leffen win, but he's up on both of them. None has a Mango win, even up on Johnny, up on me, and a Wizzy win. I would say I like None's peaks more. It's more diverse. There's more stuff in there to hold. Oh yeah, who said you were gone? I would definitely see None over S2J. I would definitely see None over S2J. But for a year-long ranking, I would hold off on that. He's up on Swedish. None. Okay. Being up on Swedish and Fiction is really big. None down on both of them, so None's also down on the head-to-head. Then Ginger and Chew. None is up on Ginger 3-0. In this tier, I think Mogi has a clear advantage. Doesn't really drop sets in this tier. Drop set to Chew, but Chew will be top 20. None has a lot of red there. Down on Shroom, down on Lucky, down on Army, down on KGH. Not great. Down on Rishi is Moki, but None is down on, or has a loss to Dreffin. Spark is a 20 caliber player, so I don't care about that much. None dropped a set to Dreffin. That is a legit set. That was a Smash and Splash. He gets an absent page. None is 0 to a Mewtwo King. Dropped a set to Ryan Ford. And does have a force loss. Moki is 2. So I think I would still put Moki over None. But it's just barely. I think None's first half of the year was too much to salvage. But I think that I would probably seed None. I would probably seed None 11th or 10th. Probably 11th. I think I would seed None 11th right now. Is my, like, knee-jerk feel guess. Now, I will say the one person I didn't look at, Fiction 10. Why wouldn't Fiction be 10? What's up, Vianney? Could have maxed my credit card code to G7. I appreciate it. So tell me why Fiction wouldn't be 10th when he's up on Johnny. He's actually up on me. He's not even with me. So look at my list. Manga, Hungrybox, Mango, Leffen, Axe, Zane, Wizzy, Amsa, I Plup, Fiction. So Shep is up on Wizzy, up on Plup, up on S2J, up on me. Not great in this tier, but he has 0 losses outside of the top 30, and he beat Mewtwo King. He beat Mewtwo King in addition to that. Remember, he's 1-0 on Mewtwo King from Big House. So tell me why you would put S2J, who lost to Nut, Billy Bo Peep, over Triforce, Professor Pro, and I think he had another loss that I'm forgetting, over him, when S2J's only peak wins are Wizzy, down on Axe, down on Zane, down on Amsa, up on me. Why would you rank S2J, who pretty much is going to be over the rest of the people? I'm pretty confident. Why would you rank S2J over Fiction based off of that? People say Swedish Life should be number 10. What do you think? They don't know Swedish's results if they think he should be number 10. So I'll go over Swedish right now. This tier will be Swedish Delight, LOL, Captain Face Roll. I'd probably throw Ginger in here. I'd throw Lucky in here because the second half of the year. I'd throw Hacks in here because of the H-Box win. I'd throw Triff in here. Triff will be up there. I'll throw PPU in here, sure. But I don't think he'll be at the higher end of this. And then I would throw... I know it's going to sound weird, but I'll show you guys why. I would still throw Judet in here. Is there an argument he should be ranked higher than Plup? No. I don't think so. Fiction didn't have any super crazy wins. And Plup was way too consistent. Like, Plup didn't have a loss worse than, like, 16th or 17th. KGH, no chance. Spark, no chance. Spark would be at the end of this tier. Actually, the end of this tier, sure. I could see Spark being there. Should have had a Zane win. Dan's game. KGH is way too inactive. And he just didn't do anything. Like, he didn't have to do anything to put him in this tier. Mewtwo King, if I ranked him, so I'll actually go over Mewtwo King before because he would not be this low. So Mewtwo King's year, he's 2-2 with the Hungrybox, 1-0 with me, 0-1 on the Triff, 0-1 with Fiction. It doesn't say it here, but he's 0-1 with Fiction, 1-2 with Captain Face Roll, 0-1 with Bananas, 2-0 with None, 1-0 with my K's. So let's actually look at Mewtwo King's year. 2-2 with number 1. 1-0 with number 8. With around like number like 7, let's say 18 is Triff. I'm just assigning a random number to it. 0-1 with, let's say, around 25 to 30 Bananas. 1 and 2 with, let's say, around number like 17 or 16. Uh, 2-0 with number 13. 0-1 with number 10. When did he... Oh, that's None. LOL. Okay. And then he has a My Kids win. So that's about it. Okay. So this is Mewtwo King's breakdown. 2-2 with number 1. 1-0 with number 8. 0-1 with number 10. 2-0 with number 13. And then he's losing to all of these people. So he's shown a clear peak. I would say the peaks are comparable to everyone here. Plup does not have that same peak. He's 1-0 with number 8. Good. He's 0-1 with number 10. 2-0 with None. And then he loses to all of these people. Triff, Bananas, and Captain Face Roll. Because of... So do you guys want my opinion on where I'd put him if I extrapolated these results or just from these results? Even record number 1 is impressive. I mean, Hex Money hasn't even record on number 1. You're not putting him up here. He hasn't had enough chances to lose someone outside of Bananas who said you were a god. He hasn't had a chance to. That's kind of the issue. Like, he hasn't attended enough for us to know if he would. I don't think I could put him above. So I know some people would probably get hate for this. I would put him probably right above Plup, because Plup is kind of that other inactive player who didn't really show great peaks and lost to people worse than him. My guess is I would probably put him. So here's this. Would be number 9 with his current results. If he attended more with the same results, I'd have him at probably 6. At 6th is what I'm going to say. Hacks is number 1 if he could only use his mind. I mean, part of the reason he doesn't use his mind is because he deferred so much of his attention to his tech skill. So that's what I would put for this. So I would probably have Mewtwo King there. Font. Let's make this 23 so it'll fit. Okay, let's make it 22. Okay, so can you guys still see the list like clearly? Is the list still like clearly legible to you guys, or is it big enough?
All right, so that's how my final painting.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this tier: Swedish Delight, Captain Facial, Ginger, Lucky, Hex Money, Triff, Pew Pew, Chudat, Spark. Okay. So, let me just check something quickly, actually. Okay, so starting this off, Swedish. 1-0 with Axe, 2-0 with Plup. He is up on Plup now, it's not just a Samus win. And 1-0 with S2J. He has a win on me, but he loses pretty badly, and then he's even with Fiction, up on Face Roll, down on Monkey, up on Ginger and Duck, down on KJH, up on Lucky and Hacks, down on Chew, up on Truant. So Swedish's losses here are pretty good. It's only Slox. Now, what people don't know is that he has losses to... He lost to Joyboy at Genesis. He lost to Snowy at a regional in New Jersey. And he lost to... there's another loss I can't remember. Hold on. There's one more loss he has that I can't remember right now. That's a DQ. Lost to KJ. No, JFlex did not. JFlex beat him at a bar tournament. JFlex beat him at a bar tournament. Maybe that was it. Okay, so maybe that was it. I don't remember his other tournament. I know he has another weird result, but it might have been a local. Wow, you didn't appear in the camera. I think... Who did he lose to get 9th? I think he lost to Slox there to get 9th. Okay. Better year than I thought he did. Outside of Genesis, it's actually been pretty good. Am I top 20? No. This was a bar tournament. This does not count. And then... Better year than I thought. Okay. I slept on Swedish a little too hard. So Swedish's year isn't as bad as I thought. Axe win is really, really good. 2 Plup wins. Really nice. I know one of them was Samus, but still. And then he's up on number 11. And then he's even with number 10. That's a pretty good year. Is his top 50 anymore? Yeah, because he beat me. So, probably. I'm not even joking. All things considered, that's a pretty damn good year. Face roll. Even with Axe. And then down on SJ. But he is 2-1 on Mewtwo King. Having said that, I prefer 1-0 on Axe, 2-0 on Plup over 1-1 with Axe and 2-1 with Mewtwo King. And then face rolls 0-3 with me. Swedish has a win, but it's 1-4, so I don't really care. and he's down at SCJ. Swedish is up. Even with Fiction, just as much, but I do like that Facial's even at 3-3 instead of 1-1. Even with Ginger, down on Hacks. When did he lose to Hacks? Paradigm. Oh, right. Even with Army. Okay. Swedish, great. Or Facial, great second half of the year. I still don't put Facial over Swedish. I still do not put Facial over Swedish. No, I don't. Swedish is also 2-0 on Absent Page, which people forget. Absent Page was literally a top 20 player at the beginning of the year. Quite literally a top 20 player. So that's really good. And even with those bad losses, I don't think I would put Swedish below Facial. So I think I would keep that as is. Without a doubt, I would keep that as is. The next person in contention, off the top of my head, I would say probably Triff. So let's look at Triff. Triff is a little weird. What happens to Absent Page, by the way? He got like soft banned. He got like soft banned. Let's put it that way. I think it's a very elegant way of putting it. So Triff speaks 2-0 on Amso is number 7, even with Zane, up on me, up on Mewtwo King. Probably the best peak I've seen yet in this tier. That's a collection of really, really good wins and up on multiples. Probably the best peak. And then he's up on Moki and Fiction as well. Dude, I forgot how good Triff's year was. Down to Pew Pew, but up on Ginger as well. Up on Hacks 2-0. Up on Fat Goku 1-0. Up on Slox 1-0. Up on Mewtwo King 1-0. Up on Ice 2-0. That's an amazing year. So I do know he's like 1-5 with Sechi. I'm well aware of that. And I know he dropped set to NMW. I think he clearly has a Falcon problem. It'd be silly to say he doesn't. Having said that, I don't see a universe where I would put Triff below them. Triff's peaks are way better. He's amazing in that middle tier. He's amazing in that middle tier. His peaks were really, really good. His only real losses, he has the Zamu losses, and he has the Falcon losses. In which he was seeded first. Yeah, I'm aware. He lost. He did win that previous round. He won Arca. He did drop the tournament to Zama, which was bad, and then he dropped all tournaments where he lost to Sechi. But again, that's like a Falcon problem. I don't think that's indicative of much more. And given how few losses he has elsewhere, and the fact that I do give benefit of the doubt to foreign players when they're abroad, I would put Triff over both of them still. Triff had a really good year. I know it kind of ended on a sour note. Oh, he lost a solo battle. Didn't Solo Battle go off that tournament? We don't know anything about Solo Battle. Lost over twice in November. Yeah, but aren't they like 10-2? Like literally like 10-2. If you're 10-2 with someone, you're beating their ass. That's the way I look at it. 10-2, like I don't care. Over's still like a borderline top 50 player, and yeah, if you play someone 12 times, they're probably taking a set or two. That's the way Melee works. I think the record is heavily in Triff's favor, so you can't just count the one time that he lost. That's like not fair. Beat over an Amsa tournament, he went off. Yeah, and that's the only tournament, so I don't know anything about Solo Battle, so I can't say like was that Triff playing badly, because clearly the guy's good. How good is he? I don't know. It's not like I'm not counting it, but like Swedish lost to Snowy. Do I think Solo Battle's worse than Snowy? Probably not. I think Faceroll lost to Legend at Genesis, right? He lost to Legend at the beginning of the year. Is Solo Battle better than Legend? Maybe. We don't know anything about him. He might be. Having said that, I do give benefit of the doubt to Europeans, and I would put Triff over both of them. Triff has Amsa and Zane wins those alright. Yeah, exactly. And he's up on me, and he's up on Moki, and he's up on Fiction. That's a great collection of results. There's no way I'm not putting that high. Ginger is an interesting case. 2-0 on me and 1-0 with SJ is really good, but he didn't beat anyone in the top 7, and he got chances against all of them. Literally every single one of them, didn't win one set. So that hurts. okay in the middle tier. So he's up on me, SJ, and Moki. That's his peak. So his peak's not as good as other peaks. And he's okay in the tier in. And then his middle record for this tier is nothing special. I'll be completely honest. Having said that, I will give Ginger credit, but not rankings, for how few bad losses he has. I think he lost to Mog at the script, but then he got second in that tournament. And he doesn't have any other crazy bad results from what I'm aware of. If someone knows otherwise, definitely correct me. But Lod is not going to... I'm not ranking Lod. He hasn't attempted enough. But it's not enough to rank him above any of these guys. And so I would definitely put him down here. He doesn't have enough of a peak. He lost to Albert. Yeah, he lost to Albert. But Albert is like a top 50 player still. That's not that he's not off... Albert's not an off-the-sheet loss. Albert's just his peak came after the first half of the year. Lucky. So we get to Lucky. Also, for the record, people talking about Sechi losses. Sechi is literally like a top 40 player, so I don't mind that he's down on a single top 40 player in a problematic matchup. Lucky is a little weird. So, obviously, amazing peaks. He's up on Wizzy and up on Mango. That's really good. And he's up on Zach. Down on SJ. And he has a Genghis Juan win. He doesn't have a Hungry Box. And I was like, when did that happen? Okay. Definitely the best peak in this tier. It's not as diverse as Triss, and so I wouldn't put the peak over Triff, but it's the highest like objective peaks. 2-0 on Zach is good. He's even with Fiction, which is really good. His 0-4 on me, that kind of sucks. Down on Swedish and Moki, that's okay. Down on Faithful, even with Ginger, not the best. You want to see some winning records. Could be a tier higher. I'll talk about that in a second, Wander. Lucky's a lot by losses of locals. I've given my opinion on locals. If you attend enough regionals and majors, I don't care about locals. I really don't. I don't have time to go through everyone's results in depth, and so I can't tell where all his wins and losses happened. I'll be a lot more diligent on that when it comes to my actual ballot. This is just like a knee-jerk, like, I'm looking at this briefly. I took off my headphones, hold on. But I don't care about locals in the grand scheme of things. Like, if they're off the sheet, I don't care. I only care about locals for people who don't have enough results for me to have a solid understanding of how good they are. 3-0. He 4-0 on Army's really good. 0-1 on Hacks. That was a devastating loss for him. Up on West, even with Meds. Up on None, which is really good. 3-0 on None's actually really impressive. 2-2 with Shroomed. Not that great, but at least he's not down anymore. 0-1 on Mike, but I think that was local. 0-1 with Stango. That was a regional. Yep. 1-0 with Rishi. Good. 1-0 with Fat Goku. 1-0 with Bimbo. 0-1 with Keizu. 0-1 with Jake and Shaken. 2-0 with Spark. Spark wins are good. 0-1 with Jerry. That was Jerry's Fox when Jerry was actually really good. And then 8-0 Squid and 1-0 on Hugs. Now, this comes with the obvious. Lucky has a lot of bad losses. He lost to Dark Atma. He lost to Mr. F. And I know he has some other losses sprinkled. Let me just look it up. That's my top 7 for whoever just asked. Let me look at these other tournaments. I know he has more somewhere. Poi Pounders, he got second S to J. LACS, it's an online tournament. I don't know why that's here. This was bad for him. This was a Jake and Shaken loss. Don't care, don't care, don't care. That was distinct loss. That's a Jerry loss. That's Jerry, Mr. F. Don't care. That's probably on the sheet. That's probably on the sheet. But then a great second half of the year. He lost to the Dark Atma set. Yeah, I know he lost himself, but I still have to, I know. Tricky? Tricky. Because I think Face Roll was a lot more consistent. But Face Roll still, even with this, Face Roll didn't quite have the same level of peaks. Let me like kind of just eyeball their lines. I think Facial beating Mewtwo King might have saved them from going below Lucky. My guess is Facial beating Mewtwo King and Lucky having some egregious losses probably save him from going any further down. So that's probably what that order would be for me. So now we get to a very interesting person. I will say right now, in the event of a tiebreaker, I am 100% penalizing him because I know he doesn't have that many results for how many events he DQ'd out of. He DQ'd out of, like, literally 6 or 7 events. Or an absurd amount of events. So, keep that in mind. 1-1 with Hungrybox, automatically the best peak here. No one else has anything comparable to an H-Box win. No one else has anything comparable to an H-Box win. Like, that alone will probably put him up. I'm not even joking. That alone would, like... Would I rather him be up on Axe and Plup or have an H-Box win? I'd probably rather him have an H-Box win. I'll be honest. Even with SFAT, hasn't played anyone here enough for it to really matter. He did go 0-4 with me, but it's whatever. 3-5 on Swedish, but one of those was Biergarten, I'm pretty sure. Oh, they didn't count it. Okay, good. But not a bad... So the thing is, he's pretty good once he gets to this tier. Because it's up on Face Roll, up on Ginger, up on KJH, up on Lucky, up on West Balls. Up on La Luna, up on Spark, up on Dreffin. 7-4 Tucson. They played a lot. God damn. He lost him at Genesis, lost him at Mom, lost him at Spectrum. I don't care about the Spectrum loss. So 7-3. 6-3. 6-3. Let's just say 6-3. Maybe 5-2 because I don't care about the Super Smashed Out either. Should Mega be number 2? I have him at number 2. Slox is 6-2. When did he lose to Slox? Gigahog and lost to McCall. Okay, so I don't care. So he's 5-1. And then no other losses outside of Crush and Absent Page. And then he'd be Captain Smokers. I do know he lost to Wisp at SmashCon. And then he lost to SFAT Losers. I don't care about the thing. He lost to Calvar here. That's bad. Beat Lint. Okay, good. So he has a Calvar loss. Calvar is like borderline top 50. But that is a loss that would probably go on the sheet. Who did he lose to in winners here? Who did he lose to in winners? Ginger. Okay. So he lost to Ginger. That's the Absent Page loss. Who did he lose to in winners here? What? So he lost in pools to someone. Did he lose to Zealous? Is this where he lost to Zealous? Yeah, okay, so he actually lost to Zealous in pools here. So he's lost to Zealous, lost to Calvar, lost to Wisp. Zealous and Calvar are still top 100 players. That's hard. That's actually really hard. Where do I put him? Zealous, Calvar, Wisp. Those are his losses. Absent Page and Crush would be around this tier if they still played, so I don't care about them that much. But the thing is, Lucky has way worse losses than that. There's no doubt in my mind Lucky has worse losses than that. But he didn't attend enough. No, I'm not putting him over Lucky. I cannot reward someone who DQ'd out of like 6 brackets. I can't reward that. So I'm putting him below Lucky because Hax had plenty of opportunities to get those wins, and he DQ'd out of brackets. Like, he DQ'd out of Big House, he DQ'd out of Shine, I'm pretty sure. He DQ'd out of like a few other tournaments. Like, there were a lot. And so this line isn't filled out because he just kept dropping out of events. And the only reason Lucky has those bad losses is because he put himself out there to lose. It's not like Leffen, where Leffen was like literally just in fucking Europe. Having said that, an H-Box win automatically puts him above Ginger. There's no way. There's no way I have him below Ginger. Way too good of a year for that. Okay. You missed top 6. This is top 6. Pew Pew is next. His peak is a win on me, up on STJ, up on Triff. And he has, like, no other results, basically. Automatically right now, like, I don't think I need to look at this very carefully. I'd put him below Ginger without a doubt. Way less results and nothing crazy to make up for, like, the gap in results. Like, and he's down on Toussaint and Michael. I like how consistent he is, but that's just not enough for me. Down on Mez, even with Chu and down on Gatsu. Gatsu's not, like... Well, I did penalize Leffen's DQ. That's why I have him at 3rd. No. PPU has had a consistent year, but he's done nothing to make me think that he should be higher, and he hasn't attended enough to make up for, like, the lack of top-level play, in my opinion. This is an interesting one. Chudat. So Chu is up on Axe, which is great. You with SFAT, which is good. And then he's up on Swedish, Moki, and Fiction, which are a great collection of people to be up on. Even with QPU, down on Ginger. Down on Army. Up on Gatsu, really? Surprising. Down on Shroom, up on my K's. Down on Fat Goku, up on La Luna. And then no other results. Jeremy, the last time I did that was the last time you subbed to me. So maybe if you sub again, I'll stop thinking about it. Tough guy. How did he lose to Chu? Fiction just played terribly. Fiction played terribly. I'll be completely honest. So it's interesting. It's definitely a better peak than Pew Pew. I don't think... However, Chudat has a lot of really, really, really bad losses. Or not really bad losses. He has bad losses. He lost to Polish. Let me look at these tournaments again. He has more losses than this. I guess he made runs every time he got upset. That's a pretty good collection of results. Like, shit, really? Really? Closer than I thought? A lot closer than I thought? A lot closer than I thought. Let me look at Chudat's Smash Wiki page just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because Smash Wiki sometimes has more tournaments. 2005, Jesus Christ. Main Stage SmashCon, Evo. Oh yeah, he played Evo and lost to HPox twice. Okay, I don't really care about that. The Kid, the Goat, the Mango. It's like the only tournament that I didn't see there. And I think he had fine losses, if I remember correctly. No, Shroom is not in this tier, Wander. I know for a fact he's not. And he lost to SFAT here, went to Losers, lost to Pew Pew. Chudat's year is not that bad. And he's up on Axe. Up on Moki, Fiction, and Swedish. Pew Pew is... Would I put him over Ginger? Honestly, I think I would put Chudat over Ginger. Would I? What else does Ginger have? 101 SJ, 2-0 on me. Chudat is 101 Axe, 101 with SFAT. So 101 Axe, 101 Fiction is better than 101 SJ, 2-0 on me. Yeah, I would agree with that statement. 201 Swedish, 101 Moki is definitely better than 0-2 with 1-0. 101 Pew Pew definitely better than 0-1. Pew Pew even, or Ginger even with face roll, that's fine. Ginger's the head-to-head. Ginger's down on KGH even with Duck. down on Army, down on Hax, down on Nun, down on Shroom, down on Santi, down on Bimbo, down on Albert. Or even with Albert. Wow. Wow. That's eye-opening. That's truly eye-opening. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Dude, a win on Fiction's good. A win on Axe is good. I can't justify putting that any lower. Ginger didn't have, like, that top win. Fiction, I fucking hate you. I literally hate you. Now, the last man on this list. Let's go down to Spark. 101 Mango is huge. This is an amazing peak, actually. 101 Mango, 101 S2J, 101 with Amsa. That's a really good... That's a good peak. That's the best peak I've seen since... That's better than Chudet's peak, that's for damn sure. Also, if I get 7 subs before the stream's over, I will do an actual true skill tier list instead of just a ranking tier list. This is based on result and not who I think is actually good. Just saying. SFAT. So he's up on Moki too. That's an amazing peak. Holy shit. Even with Ginger down on Faceful, that hurts. Down on Bananas hurts. Up on KGH. Down on Lucky. Even with Army, down on Hacks. Up on West Pulse and Meds. Down on Shroomed. Up on Fat Goku. Up on Jake and Shaken. Up on Magi. Up on Hugs. Where's Aatrox? Aatrox is still top 10. That's a much better year than I thought. That's a much better year than I thought. And that's an amazing peak. Mango at number 2. That's really good. He is Mango, Amsa, and S2J. Ginger just has me and S2J. Mango, Amsa, and S2J is so much better than me and S2J. He has 2 wins better than anything Ginger has, and 1 win that's like basically better than almost anything anyone else has. Spork lost to Morsko, so did Moki. Moki lost twice. Ginger lost to Mog. Nobody remembers that, though. And Ginger also kind of has an iffy tier. Dude. Would I put Spark over Chew? No, right? No. I think I would put Spark probably here. I think this would be my list. I think that would be my order for now. Lucky over Hacks. Hacks... Jeremy, do you know how many times Hacks DQ'd? Do you know how many times Hacks DQ'd? Also, Lucky has Wizzy and Mango. And S2J. And he's up on SFAT. Hacks has H-Box. And even with SFAT. KJ anywhere close? No. I love Kalindi, but no. Kalindi's best win is me. He's 1-on-1 with me. Then he's 1-on-1 Swedish. And then his next best win is Ginger. No, he's not close. He DQ'd out of so many tournaments. There is no way that I could put him that high. No way. So this is my final ranking. Um. Um. I think that's everything here that I cared about. Okay, so I would say, why is Chew above Spark if Spark has a Mango and Amsa win? Because, so, shit. To me, and this is kind of something that I look at with rankings a lot, Spark has these great peak wins, but then he has, like, very mixed results in this tier. Like, he's only up on one person in this entire tier, and it's a 1-0. Chudat, on the other hand, is consistently up on or even with this entire tier, and except for Ginger, who he's down on. And so to me, it shows a lot when a person is able to like consistently win in a tier like that, as opposed to just getting like a few wins at the top. Like, I much prefer those results with a top win as opposed to a few more top wins and then bad in that tier. Does that like make sense? Both of them at the same time. Yeah, no, Leffen missed way too many events. So again, I talked about it, and also Sparks on Mango was a little questionable. Yeah, I haven't really penalized for it, but it is important to keep that in mind. So why does Mango get ranked 2? I put Mango at 2. What? I'm confused. I have Mango at 2 right here. Okay, I don't know why this is happening, but whatever. I'll keep it at 22. So this is my top 20 rankings right now. This is my top 20 right now. Granted, this does come with a grain of salt of I did not put that much thought into locals, and I do actually care about what results are at locals pretty clearly. And so when I get my actual ballot, this might change, especially like this tier. I think fiction's pretty much set, but this tier I think can change a lot based off of what happens when could change a lot when I get there's a spreadsheet they give us that only has regionals and majors, and then I'll only look at locals if someone doesn't have that many results on that sheet. So we'll see what happens when I get that sheet. But yeah, so this is my top 20. I'm down to talk about it a little bit. If not, I'll move on to something else.